Lagos State Mobile Court has released 13 University of Lagos students accused of invading the premises of TVC News. The students detained since April the 1st have now threatened to sue the Lagos State Police, which is the prosecution in the case that has just been struck out. The students were arrested and arraigned after they came to Television Continental TVC News peacefully protesting against their school's management. And counsel to the freed Unilag students, Effiong, joins us to shed more light on how the case progressed and eventually turned out in favor of his clients. Thanks for joining us on the broadcast. Now let's begin with your perception first of students arrested for peacefully protesting. What was your initial reaction when you heard of this?
It wasn't surprising to me. It is what we have seen over time. The repressive tendency of university management in Nigeria. And this has been going on unchallenged, not only in the University of Lagos, but in other campuses across the country. We see a clear tendency on the part of management of higher institutions in this country to repress students, suppress them, even when the academic conditions are not conducive. So you have a situation where people who are basically making legitimate claims are being haunted, are being persecuted, are being asked to shut up in an academic environment. So what Unilag did not surprise me. But what is astonishing about the case of the University of Lagos is the collaboration with the agencies of the state, particularly the Nigerian police. Of course, this has also been the pattern. In the case of Unilag, you find situations where students went on a very peaceful protest, basically calling attention to pitiable conditions on campus. In hostels, there were issues of poor power supply, issues of accommodation, issues of school fees, and so on and so forth. That protest was peaceful. Instead of for the management to attend to the demand of the students, some of them were rusticated, like Femi Adeye and others. You even have a case of a visually impaired student who was also rusticated, and even a student who had graduated from the institution. This is a national embarrassment.
So what would be the next line of action on the part of the students whose rights were violated, if I would say, in terms of being arrested and charged to court, and now they've been freed? What is the next line of action? Did they intend to sue the police? Did they intend to sue the school management? What is the next line of action? All
legal options are on the table. What has happened today is another indication that as bad as the system is, there is always that oasis of hope, because the Lagos State government found wisdom to intervene in the matter. We went to court today expecting the continuation of the matter, only for the State Council to inform the court that the Attorney General, in the sense of his power under Section 211 of the Constitution and Section 71 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Law of Lagos State, is discontinuing with the charge. Of course, they had no option, and this is why we also commend the management of TVC for taking a consensus position on the matter. Because if TVC has kept quiet, if TVC did not come out to say that these students did not invade our station, that these students were actually peaceful, I do not think this matter would have ended so fast, given the antecedents of the police in this country. And after TVC had spoken, they were left with no other option, because the charge against them was that they invaded TVC, they were on riots, which had been shown to be false. How can you make false allegations against innocent Nigerians? You throw them into detention without consequences. I believe that both the management of the university and the Nigerian police force is liable in law. So the students will most likely seek legal redress, more so that the charges that be discontinued. They can also sue for malicious prosecution, because the law is that when you set the law in motion against an individual and the trial ends, notwithstanding how it ends, that person has the right to sue you. It is shameful that the Commissioner of Police had to deliberately distort facts in connivance with the management of the university in order to keep these students in bars. This is totally repressive and unacceptable.
Such a sad story to imagine what would have happened to these students, and many more who have gone down history like this with no one fighting for them and being accused falsely. How can students across Nigeria be able to be more vocal and not let their voices be stifled and demand for justice, demand for their rights without being afraid? How can they come together to become a force to be reckoned with?
It's a difficult situation. I'm a lawyer today because I narrowly escaped being expelled from the university. I used to do the same things Femi Adeyeye and others are doing today. And the consistent pattern we have seen over time is that in this country, people seem to be allergic to truth. But what worries some of us is that it shouldn't be associated with an academic environment. A university is a place where intellectuals are bred. So if people cannot speak the truth to power in a place that you are claiming to be teaching leaders of tomorrow, there's a problem. What are the students fighting for? They are fighting for legitimate things. It is not too much to ask that there should be constant power on campus. This is one of the first universities in this country. So it is not excusable. If students are saying that we are paying for hostel accommodation and that the accommodation you've given us is not good enough for us, what do? You dialogue with them. A student went on Facebook to express his opinion. As a Nigerian, he has freedom of expression under Section 39 of the Constitution. And because you are the Vice Chancellor, because you are a professor, you constitute a kangaroo committee to discipline the students for merely airing his view as a Nigerian. We cannot continue like this as a nation.
All right.
We cannot continue.
We sincerely hope that all things being equal, we would have a better situation at the end of it all. Inibehe Effiong, a lawyer, and of course a council representing the freed Unilag students. Thanks a lot for your contributions on the TVC News Hour.